Hello and welcome to TXM TV. I'm Anthony Clyne, and today we are joined by Rob Chittenden,
Hi, Anthony.
Peter Rewi in Auckland,
Hi guys, how are you?
and Luciano in Wollongong. How are you, Luciano?
I'm good, Anthony. Hi, everyone.
Fantastic. So today we've got a lot about working at home and how to work at home effectively in this new environment. And then we've got a session at the end about keeping the business going. But firstly, Peter, if we're conducting lean daily team meetings remotely, how do we make and track actions and suggestions?
Cheers, Anthony. I'm going to step into that in a second. I'm doing a bit of a segue, but it was interesting. Today, we had a Zoom conference and caught up with approximately 8 different business owners here in New Zealand. And it was interesting listening to the problems that they're starting to see. Some of them are back in the workplace, and a lot of those problems could be alleviated if they had a tool that they could use. Now, I've started the session by bringing up a tool that we've started developing here at TXM. And the question is, how do we make use of time at home, and how do we actually get our teams together? And that's what this platform is all about. One of the questions that we left you with 2 days ago was, well, how do we actually take actions, all right? And so the connect between what I started talking about is that you need to get your teams together, because on listening to these business owners that we were dealing with this morning, a lot of reoccurring issues which can be rectified if the teams got together and had an ability to talk about things that are important to getting their business up and running or keeping it up and running. So the process that we have here is the dashboard, which allows you to at a glance understand the key areas of your business. Entry points, including questions. These questions are important to be looking at as a team. Yeah, and I did mention in previous episodes the coloration and the and-ons. But what Anthony touched on, which I think is really important, is anytime you have a situation where, for example, here you'll see a whole grouping of reds, all right, they generally need to be turned into actions that you can walk away and do something about. And so on the back of our system, we also have an action list. So this action list is simple and easy to to create. You can obviously nominate how important something is, fill in the action, who's responsible, give that person the ability to comment about where they are with their action. Most importantly, you need a due date, and it needs to be something which the team agrees to follow. And so generally when we hit due dates, a lot of times what you'll find is people will come up with a date, but not actually think really seriously about whether or not what they're about to do is achievable within that time frame. So hopefully that just helps people understand that there is a tool available for use. We as we mentioned, we're happy for anyone to use this tool if they would find it to be valuable and allow them the opportunity to bring their teams together with a purpose. So was there anything else, Anthony, that you could add?
Well, it's just such a dynamic time, and it's the need. There's so much marketing and a whole lot of initiatives. If you think of the number of topics you're requiring to manage 4 weeks ago compared to the number of topics now, it's probably 3 times as much. And in the automotive industry or aerospace industry, this is a launch time. We are high intensity, all hands on deck, and there's a lot more topics and a lot more decisions to be made every day. And so it's the tools like that are required to do the lean thinking, which is to make ensure that the people doing the work are making the decisions under the guidance of a teacher. So as leaders, we don't have the bandwidth to make all of the decisions that we used to make. And using these tools enables our people to make the right decisions.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. You touched on something which I think is really important. When our businesses are ticking along throughout a year and we don't see many problems, it's something that we just get used to. When we turn our business off and we go to turn it back on again, you really need to scratch everything. You know, you really need to actually start pinning down every element of our business just to ensure that when we turn the lights back on and we press play, everything has less likelihood of failing. All right. And as we all know, all right, when you go in green and cold, okay, problems do occur.
And Peter, at TXM, a lot of us have dogs, and we love our furry friends. And Easter's a special time, and make sure they don't eat bad things like Easter eggs and chocolate.
Or bones.
What happened? We missed you yesterday, Peter. What happened?
Yeah, so my dog decided to kind of like give me an opportunity to go out, even though we're in lockdown. Vets are still a thing, and so yeah, my dog gave me a $600 present. $600 vet bill.
I imagine you are so happy now.
I am actually, because at least he's okay.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good.
Awesome.
And building on that about the need to, for the people that do the work to really run the business and to make all these decisions, one of the paramount things is that the work is done to the best possible way. And we call that standard work, and it's about working effectively at home. So Rob, what are some tips on standard work as we transition from working in a central place to remote locations?
Yes, Anthony, it's a really good topic that you've probably seen a lot on the internet about, is we're now working from home. So applying one of our tools at TXM, which is the Leader Standard Work template, is to try and understand what are the benefits we're getting from working at home. Right now, it's an essential thing that we have to do. But there are some positives to this that may want to be included when we bounce back. So on the other side, yeah, some of this standard work might be useful to develop now, how we actually have transitioned from our work standard work when we were at a business place to where we are now doing those functions at home. Maybe there are some benefits that need to be looked at. So going through our Leader Standard worksheet can help us do that. So by mapping out the tasks on a sheet, we may be able to see that happening quite well. So getting each of your remote team to go through and fill out a daily task sheet, seeing when things need to be done around their own home patterns might be a very interesting thing to do right now. Those at home with kids or pets may need certain different times to do certain tasks. And linking them together as a supervisor, you might be able to leverage those times to get the best out of your team. So a simple form like this, filling out the daily tasks, when they're to be done, maybe some interruptions that we learn over time can be added, and some comments. So having a feedback loop on how we do our work could be very useful in these times. So that's an example that we could go through, and it certainly could help us out in that bounce back period, Anthony.
Fantastic. And so what we used to do may be a bit different. I didn't notice falling asleep in the afternoon on the couch was on the list, Rob.
No, it's not there, Anthony, but I certainly, these lists would help set a clear expectation and an area of compliance. So if the afternoon nap is a compliant task, then I'm certainly up for the challenge.
Yeah, I've got to say, Rob, you are right. It is an opportunity. The amount of people that I know that are keeping in touch with online platforms like Zoom or FaceTime, we've used them, you know, a little bit, nothing too major, but in terms of businesses, the cost of getting groups together, particularly if they work remotely or they're from overseas, is for a lot of businesses just a cost that we get used to. But the reality is, going into our new world, using these types of platforms more and more will become more and more important to business in the future.
Totally, Peter. And the other aspect is when we are working from home, there's often another stakeholders in the home that are also working from home. And it's today is the last day of school term in Sydney, and Luciano, you've got a challenge over the next few weeks as your kids are at home, and you need to entertain or ensure that they're busy, and as well as your partner needs to work, and so the space has become quite crucial in this time.
Yeah, you're right, Anthony. I'm probably going to be using doing the list of tasks as just Robert mentioned before, to see what the kids can do without our support, without needing our help. and setting the right expectations through one certain moment of the day. I think that might be beneficial for them to be able to do their tasks without having to rely on us for that.
Yeah, so there'll be standard work, but also standard structure to the day, and that builds on previous episodes of TXM TV. Thanks.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Rob. And our next episode of TXM TV will be on the Tuesday after the Easter break. So welcome to join us at 12:30. Email us your suggestions on what topics you'd like to hear about at txmtv@txm.com. And remember to comment on our LinkedIn page, and we'll see you, or we'll welcome you to join us on Tuesday after Easter. Stay safe and goodbye.
Cheers, folks. Happy Easter.
Goodbye, everyone.